here, and Happy New Year to all of my viewers and all of you who are watching this video. My first upload of the season, doing a couple of things a little different. Gonna be doing a different background for now, or backdrop so to speak. Got my new tripod, so I should be able to do a lot more better views on stuff. Haven't gotten my pegboard up yet, but that will be coming soon. And once I do that, that will be where I'll be shooting against from now on. And hopefully this camera distance will be a little better for me because I know I have a loud booming voice, and hopefully I will not be blowing out anyone's audio anymore on my videos. Now, getting on to the crux of my video, as you can see in the review, or not in the title, that this is going to be a review, and what the review is going to be is of this, the Mega Cycloneshock. Finally got my hands on this thing, very excited to do so. This is the 5th Mega Blaster to be released by Hasbro. The others are obviously the infamous Centurion, the much approved upon Magnus, the Thunderbow, which I honestly was never that impressed with, the Big Shock, which just recently came out alongside the Cycloneshock, and the Cycloneshock. So, going over obviously it's not in the box, but I do still have the box here. Just going over the box real quick because there's some cool stuff on here. This is actually a Mega XD blaster, as you can see right there. So this is now claiming to fire darts up to 90 feet, which is pretty cool because even the Magnus, and I believe the Thunderbow was only set for 75 feet because they were elite blasters. The Big Shock actually just has a regular N-Strike logo, so that does not claim elite ranges. And despite what Hasbro says, the Centurion is not hitting 100 feet. So that was a load of crap. The other interesting fact, or thing that I have noticed here, is you can see the blaster on the back of the packaging, which also matches the front of the packaging. You'll notice something a little different here. It has a Grace priming slide on the packaging, but obviously does not have it in actuality. I kind of find that a little interesting that no one ever caught that when they made the mock-ups or whatnot, but it is what it is. Oh god, I hate that saying. But I mean, truth be told, honestly, I'm fine with the red slide. The gray slide would have been cool, but either way. Now, I'm going to go over the aesthetics of the blaster. I'm going to open it up and show you the internals on it. I'm not going to do any mods on this right now, just because I unfortunately don't have the time to do so, because it is just after the holidays, still getting stuff done around the house. But also more so important, it is winter in New Jersey, and right now my garage is freaking cold. So, going over the blaster, this is as you can read, a Mega Blaster. It fires 6 shots out of a front cylinder or turret. It has the basic design of the Mega Blaster, although it's a little more minimalistic than the previous ones. And I'll show you an example with one of my Magnuses. It has the primary red body, the gray accents, the gray grip. It does have a handguard, which when I remember first seeing it, I was very concerned over that because my immediate reaction was, oh god, this is going to be small and cumbersome and annoying, just like on the Crossfire crossbow from the Zombie Strike line. And I really, really want to like this, but if it is a great blaster and that's annoying, then I'll just cut it off. But I gotta say, with my hand holding like this, or even regularly, the handguard is actually not a hindrance whatsoever. And now, mind you, I do have big hands, so I think they're pretty average adult size, maybe a little large adult size hands. If any of you are curious, no, I do not have a measurement, but normally I wear either an extra large or a double XL glove. So take that into consideration. The grip is very, very comfortable. And as I was saying with the paint scheme being minimalistic, this is just the one side of the Magnus, or not the Magnus, the Cycloneshock. This is the other side. The only difference between the two is you have the silver accent on the N-Strike Elite logo and for the lettering on the actual name of the blaster. However, with the Magnus, you can see there's a lot more white on here. Down here by where the tack rail is, the giant line going across it. And even, I don't know how much, actually no, it's not that much different. It's just got a little bit more of the sheen on the back of it. But the grays are the same, the reds are the same, so there's that. Now this does take Mega Elite darts, and I do have some back here. So this is what it takes. Now the way you load it, before I get onto that, ever since I saw this, I just have to say it, this thing just looking at it just reminded me of a strong arm on steroids, which is not necessarily bad because I do like the strong arm. The one thing though is you will notice there is no button here for a barrel drop. The barrel is fixed. Much like the hammer shot, it doesn't deviate. You do have to front load the turrets. Now, in regards to that, the turret does freely move either way with a nice solid click, so it does keep all the barrels in place. But before I do the loading and a quick firing demo, I do want to show you this though. Now, unlike the strong arm, where the strong arm you have the prime, you fire, and then it has that like split-second barrel rotation at the end. Or if you're dry firing it, you fire, it fires, and then it has that like kind of it has more of that delayed rotation. This actually primes, or I'm sorry, this rotates on the prime. But a good feature is, now normally like on a strong arm you would have the slam fire ability, but on the Spectre or the Maverick, what you would be able to do is once it's primed, you could just sit there and play with the slide like this all the time. Cool thing with this is if you actually pull the slide all the way back, it will actually rotate through your barrels. So you can actually just load like that. So, and I'll show you an example of that. So I'm putting one dart here, and I just rotate it through. And I can rotate this all the way to firing position, and here we go. Now, it is too cold to range test this outside right now, but to quote Psych, ranges are good. And I'll even go as far as to say is I'm going to wager that the ranges are actually very good. One last thing of note, though, I will pick up. I did find this a little, I don't want to say odd, but I guess this is to help with, there is no slam fire on this one. I guess this is to help like clear in case if there is a misfire or whatnot. If you notice, there's a bit of a cutout on the front of the blaster here to get jams out, because the barrels rotate this way. So the cutout here must be to get rid of jams or misfeeds. There is one tack rail, much like the Magnus. However, instead of being on the bottom, it's actually on the top. So where this one, the best accessory you can put on it is a tack light. This, you can put a tack light on, but you can also do optics, so you can be super tack elite. So I did that. Going to go on to the insides of it. I'm just going to take a quick screwdriver, open it up, show you the insides, also show you a quick trick on how to remove the locks, which is courtesy of Psych. And I'm going to go over my final thoughts and what I might be possibly doing with this in the future for another video. So that is going to be coming now. For sake of time, I've already unscrewed everything. I would like to note, though, that there are, once you separate off the priming bar, there are two separate screws, or two hidden screws, I should say, here and here, under the slide. Also with the slide, take note, right here, on the, I guess you could call it the iron side or the faux iron side, at the very end of it, there's a very, very tiny screw, so be extremely careful when you're dealing with that. So, putting that aside, and this is the insides of the blaster. Very similar to what is already in the strong arm itself. You will also take note that the gray piece, much like on the Magnus, is completely separable. So this will make painting this very easily, because I do like the black and gray scheme of the guard. So this will make painting this a whole lot easier once the time comes. The orange piece here, which is the muzzle, the rail, and the muzzle and the tactical rail, all seem to pop out in one piece. So you can always remove that, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's just all solid. So you don't have to worry about that. Also, even though it is sealed in place, there is no spring on the tack rail holder. This is very similar to how they did the sling fire, to where there is no spring. It's just actually a piece of plastic pushing it up. Now, the one lock that is in this blaster that I am aware of is, from what Psychic said, is this piece. This is your trigger lock to keep you from depriming it. You need to remove that, as well as, so as you can see here, that you can't really move this in. What this will do is, on your trigger, you have the built-in lock here, and then this piece. You can't pull the trigger unless this is sliding the piece in or pushing it down. So what you'd have to do is you'd actually have to open up the trigger piece and remove that lock. But from what it looks like, it doesn't look like mine is glued. However, and I'm sorry, I might be doing this off camera, but you can take a very good look at the internals here to see how everything looks. This spring is actually your slide return, so make sure you don't lose that. You have your plunger, your catch system, and your rotation neck. The only has one air restrictor, much like the strong arm. It's built right into the plunger instead of the old Maverick and Spectre ways of being built into each individual turret. Now, I am just going to see if I can separate out the piece here. Okay. So this worked out very easily, because all I had to do was push in this piece here, and it just kind of butterflied right open. Now, that's what Tyke was talking about. The piece that holds in the actual spring to pop, I guess you can say, pop the lock, that is actually what's glued in. Yeah, there's no getting around that one. Oh no, wait. Nope, mine is not glued in. Come on. There we go. And that is how, if it's not glued in, all you have to do is pop that piece off, and boom, your lock is disabled. So you can keep that piece off and just put the trigger back together the way it was. Reassemble, and now your trigger has full free movement. Oh, forgot the trigger spring. So now I can deprime the blaster if I want. I'm leaving the air restrictor in right now. I'm not showing you that. I will, however, take out the plunger, because the plunger itself is actually an interesting little piece of Frankenstein stuff. The plunger is actually collapsible, as you can see here. When you prime the blaster, what you're doing is you're not so much pulling back on this. I believe this doesn't really go all that far with the way it will work is you pull this piece back with the slide, obviously, and when the slide goes forward, that's how it kind of compresses the spring a bit. So the plunger itself it's interesting, or I actually could be talking out of my ass a little bit on that one. But on the other plus side is you can actually unscrew the plunger head to add a beefier spring. And while this does feel fairly beefy, you can definitely put, if you have a similar spring, you can definitely put a better spring on it. So there's that. Really, that's about it for now in regards to what to do with this thing. Like I said, I'm not going to pull this out because I don't want to mess with this just yet. That will be for a future video. So I'm just going to put this back together. I'll give you my final thoughts on this bad boy. Okay, so my final thoughts on the blaster. I really, really, really like this. This was one of the few blasters in recent months to come out that has not disappointed. This thing has a lot of potential. Psych has already done some rebarrelings and a rear loading slot mod. I know some people in the community, I am sorry I forgot names though, have been comparing this to pretty much a pistol version of the Doomsayer, which it just shows you how much potential this thing has. So, I mean, if it could compare to that, I'm definitely looking forward to some warmer climate and doing a lot of fun stuff with this thing. So, I highly recommend, if you can get your hands on one of these, definitely get it. If you're not a fan of the Mega Blasters, this will definitely change your mind on it. I almost guarantee it. So this is a definite recommendation, even for HVZ or possibly NIC applications, because if you can rebarrel this to shoot Steffens with a couple of shorter springs, you got a nice sidearm, definitely. And hell, if it does have the power of a Doomsayer, or you can put the power of a Doomsayer in here, you got a pistol primary. So that's all for now. Oh, before I go, I have not found these retail. This actually came to me from Amazon, or I should say I ordered it from Amazon, and I did not order it from UK Amazon. I ordered it from the US Amazon site. So this is now available stateside. If you can't get it in a local store, you can definitely get it on Amazon. Right now, price is a little... It's definitely not the retail price that it's going for, because this was on this was on Amazon for about $22 US. So I hope to God that's not going to be the retail price. But if it is, it is. If not, I can't wait to get another one cheaper. So that's all for this review. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Throw a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the new workshop, the new angles, the way I kind of formatted this video. It was pretty much the way I normally do them. It's just I want a little feedback on, is this camera better? How did the new shot of the bench work? So yeah, definitely drop me a comment. Let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Later.